What's up, Dolphins fans? Welcome back to the Fins Up Network. I'm a little bit late to the party on this one, but we're dealing with this dude's shit again. I'm just getting to record this. It's Monday night after the Mike Florio report came out Monday morning, but I've got a few thoughts regarding that report that he put out regarding the Miami Dolphins essentially having a plan to attempt to pair Sean Payton, Tom Brady in Miami for the 2022 NFL season, but then that they ultimately decided against it once the Brian Flores lawsuit came out. First things first, when we're dealing with situations, consider the source. Mike Florio. This dude has a fairly shady history of making these claims, having them blow up in his face, and having nothing come to fruition. And not only are they blowing up in his face, but he's blowing them up. He's making them such a bigger deal than they already are that it just becomes essentially clickbait. And he's winning. It sucks that he's winning, but here we are. We're clicking on his shit and he's winning. Second, just as us fans, we believe we're in the clear of this BS reporting. We've got a coaching staff that's supporting Tua, surrounding Tua with talent. They're publicly stating that he's the QB1 heading into the season. This comes out. We simply can't catch a break at this point in time as Dolphins fans. But if you look at the report, the details are just jacked up. The Dolphins were reportedly denied permission to speak to Sean Payton, but yet they didn't scrap the plan until after the Flores lawsuit came out. Wouldn't the plan have been basically thrown out once permission to Payton was denied? Once permission to speak to him was denied? The timeline is just kind of jacked up on here. Also, pursuing Tom Brady. Sure, at one point a few years back, I'm sure it happened. There are the reports, Brady on the yacht with Ross and Flores not showing up. Whatever, we're beyond that. So I'm sure that happened, but he's technically under contract despite the fact that he retired from the Buccaneers. So nothing really about this report is seeming to add up. So I'm just chalking it up. It's another miss for Mike Florio. Honestly, we all just need to block him and move on. That's all we can do. And lastly, I do have to say about Stephen Ross in particular, if something as big as this were to actually have some weight behind it, if something about this were true, it would mean that, one, Stephen Ross has learned nothing from his recent history in dealing with the media, dealing with coaches, dealing with quarterbacks, any of that. And two, it would essentially mean that Stephen Ross is just an overall terrible person because he'd be using more people. He'd be using Mike McDaniel. He'd be using Tua Tagovailoa. He's basically would be using them as like this phony pairing just to turn his back on them in 2023 and then chase Sean Payton or chase Tom Brady. Tom Brady will be 7,000 years old by the time that this plan could come to fruition. So I'm just thinking that this entire report is BS. If there's a sliver of truth in it, Dolphins fan Stephen Ross is a worse person than we already think he is. But that's it. That's it in a nutshell. We need to just continue to just blow these things to the side. Don't look into it any more than you already have to. If Florio hits on something, we'll start giving him more credibility. Until that point, brush it off to the side. Let's move on. I've said it before. Free agency, NFL draft. These are the things we need to focus our attention on. So I'll be back soon with that kind of information. So until then, have a good one, Dolphins fans, and subscribe, do all that fun stuff as well. Appreciate it.